that's one of the big perils of live theater is that you really have to pay attention to what the audience is doing, especially in a comedy like this where they would laugh at different points than the previous audience had, and we had to kind of adjust and maybe pause for a couple of seconds, wait for the laughter to stop before we continued.
Yeah, that was another thing I really didn't like. I remember filming and I'm like, you're not supposed to laugh at this. now I got to edit applause into this to make this look right, and it was nuts,
Oh man.
There really isn't that much to say about this movie, to be honest with you, because we've done this, we've seen it, like everything that has we've said about everything we can here. I think I don't know.
There are a lot of things in the final show that we didn't originally plan. For instance, in the beginning, when we are in the line formation and we're all goodness and badness, man in his madness. Yeah. Originally, we were supposed to form a pinwheel and kind of like spokes to a wheel and turn the entire cast towards the right side. But unfortunately, that didn't work because the stage was, we were too big for the stage. And so we resorted to just changing it out, doing the line and the moves you see in the final show. As I got to, know the part, as I got into the character, I realized that was the best. It was so well casted. That was the best character for me. And, Pseudolus was the best character for Jack. And Hysterium for Matt, and so on and so forth. Oh, free.
Here's the interesting thing. When I was recording the soundtrack for this, I wanted to record it but without a live audience. And of course, on the soundtrack, you're going to hear a live audience. But, excuse me, I need to breathe. I remember as I was recording it, I had a microphone and the iMac, and I was recording, and I was in the front row. And I think the Nearys had photographers over, and they were taking pictures that day. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It was like 2 days before the show.
Yeah, I was the last one to get my pictures.
Yeah, and as they were taking pictures, it was such a pain for me because you can hear snapshots in the background as the song was going on, and I'm stop taking pictures! Because every time, I would hear, F-R-E, free, and I'm like, oh, come on! I guess I'm recording this live. Okay, great. Oh, man.
That was good. And
we should have gotten more actors to do the commentary, but they're all leaving for college.
Oh well.
I'm going to college locally, so I really don't care, at this point.
Yeah. I'm going to DeSales in about 3 days, but I was set to do this, of course. Free. And oh boy, I don't want to see myself.
Oh, that's right, you're coming up. Yeah,
I'm right.
I remember watching this and I'm like, where is he? Like, does he have a small role or a supporting role? What is it?
And
then you walk
here it comes. You just.
You'll never learn, eunuch. You'll be a eunuch all your life.
I'm waving my finger in Will McHugh's face. And poor kid. He's just looking at me like, what am I? He was completely in character as the eunuch. It was great. Oh, the money bag.
Was there real money in there? Because I heard something.
Shake.
Was there real money in there?
There was, we had some coins in there. And the thing with the money bag was there were some times where Jeff actually forgot it.
Yeah, I remember, didn't he do that one time on stage?
He did.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, what is going on here?
Where's the money bag? And then he runs back, and I'm just standing there what should I do now?
Every time that happens, every time you guys make a mistake and you're just doing improv, I always look at Miss Neary and I'm like, is she happy or sad or mad?
Oh my goodness.
Because I always get freaked out oh man, she's going to get mad backstage when this is over.
Oh wow.
Because you want everything to go right, especially in front of an audience. Mm-hmm. And especially if it's a comedy, because you want the dialogue to run smooth, the way it would.
I like it.
It is good. Oh boy, here it comes.
Here
the
comes
easiest song in the whole show.
I think I'm not that good of a singer. I think this is the reason
The reason why you had the shortest song, nobody wanted to listen to you sing, right?
Right. Oh man, the grapes. Those were real grapes. Most of for the.
Are you
for
serious?
The show nights. Oh yeah, they were real.
Because I thought Jack was just like pretending to eat them. Like that's real.
Yeah, but Jack would never eat them. He was like this. He was stoic. He would not take a grape. But I was a pig. I took all the grapes.
You know, I remember the first night of Tech Week. I walked in and watched you guys do this, and I remember watching the scene when the courtesans are dancing, and I'm taking one look at you, and I'm looking at the girls, and you're mentioning prices, and I'm like, is this guy a pimp? I was shocked. I'm like, what are we do? We did Miracle on 34th Street. Now we're doing this. Yeah. Like, what is this school coming to? What are we doing? Like, is Kylie aware of this? Or is Neary doing this behind his back? I don't know. I was so confused. Because we never have done a show like this.
I'll just say from the actor's perspective, this was so much fun to do. So much fun. Yeah. And just the thing was you had to watch the courtesans dance. And of course Jack, he's got to be all into it. And it's really tempting because there are these beautiful women who are just dancing in front of him.
Yeah, Sarah Godley doing that. Mm-hmm. What were tied around her wrists? Oh, were those bells or something? Like, what were those? Bells.
She had them between her middle finger and her thumb, and she would just like clip them together.
Oh yeah. Do you have any one less noisy? I have.
I have.
Oh man.
Unix.
I was shocked that the audience would clap for that. Because, it's obvious, because obviously that choreography was hard to do, but...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was shocked because I didn't think of it, and I'm like, okay, make the applause short so I don't have to cut it too soon,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the courtesans had a lot of choreography, and especially Jack, too, because he danced with Mariah Thomas here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow. The leg kick. And this was... Whenever Jack would get up from the bench, I would just automatically sit down because I just wanted to, be in the action. I wanted to watch them and eat the grapes too.
I just want to say this right here. This was one of the hardest scenes to edit. I mean, aside from all the songs, because when you're editing a musical, this is the first time I really edited a musical. It's so hard to do because you have so many characters on stage. You want to see what everyone's doing, and yet you have to make the music run smooth as if it's all in one take, Oh,
yeah.
But it was so hard because you got all these girls dancing, and it's so hard to do this. And of course, like one night the music would be off, and they would have the wrong move at the wrong note, and it was nuts. Recording and editing this.
He opens her mouth. I'm like, what?
Like, what is he doing?
As soon as he opened her mouth, I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. Would you find her unattractive?
Well, obviously he doesn't pick her, so. No offense against Mariah, but...
No, it's just, he doesn't pick any of them because he's just trying to search for the one Jeff wants.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He just wants his freedom.
Yeah. And I'm like... The crossing between them, it was a little difficult because there were some times where I would, like, block them accidentally or say my line when, they were blocking me when I was walking. Just doing the different blocking and stuff. It's a little bit tricky to navigate because you're not really sure what to do, and I like that Miss Neary allowed us to kind of find our own way, but at the same time she would correct us if we were going wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, the twins.
Oh yeah, Shannon Cahill and who
Sherry
else is?
Sarita.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I don't really know everybody in the cast. I'm sorry.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You couldn't break up a set. I wouldn't. You understand, right?
Yeah. You understand completely.
Yes. I don't know the lines. I'm just a kid with a camera. That's it.
Yeah. And the lines, they're coming back to me. I just, I'm not going to repeat them all because
obviously,
because it's like you're watching the movie right now. So.
Yeah. Who's that? Celissa Malitsky, I think.
That's Vibrata.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man. I would make the cat's claws.
Yeah, what was was that improv or
that was me?
Did Miss Neary tell you to do that? How'd you do that?
A lot of the stuff I did on my own. Like Miss Neary was really good at providing the direction for it, but I did a lot of the different stuff on my own. Like the shake I do when I hear the money, that was my own thing, and the claws, that were my own thing. I feel like I added a little bit of a flamboyant flavor to Lycus. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, a guy with all these girls in a house. I mean, you got to think he's either getting some action or he just wants money. You know?
I remember looking at this choreography and I'm like, there's little kids here. Like, how could we do this? I mean, it's a funny show and it's interesting, but come on, like we can't do this. We just can't, you know?
Oh man.
I mean, this is one of the funniest things we've ever done. But you know, just some of the stuff we did in this is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How we got away with it.
I know exactly what you want. Poor girl, she kept hitting herself in the face with the whip by accident. You know, you had to. I mean, she did well with the whip. Don't get me wrong, but I think she hit herself in the face a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And this
Look at Jack's head going, Lycus, can I see you for a moment?
It was fun, like interacting with him and with her for a little bit. Because I'm like, you know what? He doesn't want you. Go. Because she's like one of the older courtesans who like, And then this is big because this is part of Pseudolus's machinations to obtain philia for Hero so that he can be free. It all revolves around him being free, and he just it was wonderful how he just pulled the strings like a puppet, or like a puppeteer, the marionette. It's great. And I'm like, I'm trying to go along with this as best I can. I'll admit I took it a little bit extreme when I would, like shout or like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
And then Jeff, for this part, he's supposed to pull out an imaginary sword and pretend to stab himself, but unfortunately, he couldn't really do that.
Yeah, that like even if like that would look bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We tried it.
Not just for Jeff, but I think for anyone. Like what he's doing here is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, the smiling.
She goes smiling throughout the day. She doesn't.
I was hoping that we could all be like in a smiling formation. The crazy face would make people laugh, and I think it did.
Yeah.
That was fun. This scene was really fun to do. I think.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. Hey Andrew, I was wondering, why did it take so long to make this?
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of staying away from that, but if you must know,
yes,
I'm sure a lot of people are wondering why. Well, here's the problem. Those of you who have the Arsenic and Old Lace DVD or have seen it, you know the rant that I do. First of all, I'm not ranting on that. I'm explaining the questions, because I had so many questions, like how did you film this, what happened to it, and I was answering all those questions at once and how I did it. Now, with this show, this was a huge pain in the A, because I don't know if we can curse on this, but it was a huge pain in the A. Because
Can you bleep it out?
I don't know. Well, what happened was, we did this show. When did we do the show? Like, was it late March?
It was late March, early April. There were a couple of shows that went into the first few days of April.
Yeah, early April, that's it. Here's what happened. The Sunday matinee that we did, which was the final show, I had to upload the footage while you guys were taking down the set, because I had to return the camera, because the very next day we had the senior trip. So I didn't have any time to edit. And when we got back from the senior trip, we had that whole senior project thing we had to do, and I had to work on that, which took me about like a week. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to take us like 7 months or something, but it took me a week to do. So I did that, and I didn't start editing this movie until like early May, and the goal was to just get it out and finished before June, before everybody left and graduated, because a lot of seniors were in this. So what happened was, I started editing. It took me about 3 weeks. I got up to about an hour and 10 minutes into the film, and I was 2 lines away from Dan Edgar's song, Bring Me My Bride. And what happened was, I dubbed the movie so much because it's a musical, so I had to mute the video and put audio in to make it look good so the music would run smooth. What happened was, iMovie doesn't let you do too much dubbing, so anyone who owns an iMac, like, you know what I'm speaking about, like, whenever something's loading, that little color wheel will come up, and, well, here's the problem. That wheel went on for hours and hours and hours. It wouldn't let me play the video. It wouldn't let me go back. It wouldn't let me do full screen, and I was so pissed.